Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of
Gunpla
TV, except there is no Gunpla this week.
Nope.
And we are on episode number 316. Welcome back,
I'm glad you
Mr.
remembered.
Dave.
Thank you.
Alright, so yeah, no Gunpla this week. And actually there was no new Gundam kits that came in this week. The first 2 weeks of April, I think, yeah, it's
Pretty dry.
It's been dry. There's been nothing that's released since that Master Grade Age 2 Build Divers kit, so...
Yeah.
Still something I need to get around to doing.
I mean, there may be some kits, not Gunpla, but maybe some Kotobuki kits coming this week, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not sure, but we are actually recording this on the day you're going to see it.
Right.
Because, yeah,
I've
been busy.
Usually we don't do it like this soon, but just things have been quite busy around here. Shizuoka Hobby Show is coming up.
Yeah.
And actually that's kind of another reason you don't see any other new kits here.
Yeah,
so
they're
I
holding
have...
off.
There's actually 2 kits this time that I am building for the Shizuoka Hobby Show.
Cool.
For if you've watched the Hobby Show videos, you might remember Brian and our other sister company Beaver that deals with importing kits to Japan from other countries. So I'm actually building 2 kits for Brian for the Beaver booth that will be on display at the show. So next week, if I've finished it in time, I'm actually going to bring one of those kits because one of the kits is actually like Gundam and like the Bandai kits that I build usually here. It's a kind of a snap together kit, although it does actually use a screwdriver too. So look forward to that. There's one more kit. If I can finish it in time, I'd like to bring it on the show as well.
Cool.
So there will be no more Gunpla next week as well, except for the new releases that are coming in. And I think next week, we had the Master Grade. There was a Master Grade coming next week, if I remember right. The really big one. XXX? I'll have to look it up. So that's something else to look forward to. But for this week, we are going to take a look at... We have some Yamato stuff to look at.
Yes,
So
some very, very fresh stuff.
very fresh stuff. So this one actually just came in at the end of March, I think it is. This is the new Chogokin, Soul of Chogokin, the Yamato 2202. Quite
Someone's
exciting.
A happy boy.
Yes, indeed. So this, I believe it's the 3rd time they've released the Yamato in the Soul of Chogokin line. They had like an original older style Yamato. They had the 2199 version. Now they have the 2202 version, which new for this kit, we get that nice little controller box with some sound effects and other
It's wireless,
stuff.
right?
It is wireless. So we'll take a closer look at that one in a bit. And also we have from their hobby division line, we have the 2202 final battle version. So the final battle version, lots of extra guns. And just to compare, of course, I brought in the previous version that I built below, so I can kind of compare.
Yeah, I was wondering where that one came from.
That one, I built that one, I think that was a 2199 release, or was that just a 2202? I can't remember, it's been so long since I built that thing. But we'll compare all of these Yamatos and see how the hobby stuff compares to the toy line. And Mr. Dave!
Yeah, I built Astra Archer lineup, one of the, what's their name? Ouki.
Ouki, 6.2 it says on the box there too.
Yeah, there was 2 forms for this, like the naked version and the kitted version like this, fully armored up. So we'll have a look at both.
Kitted version?
Well, as the final form I will. But actually her head in this, you'll see it later, but her head right now isn't the armored version because I think it looks better this way. Okay. But anyway, let's have a look at all of these things.
Yes, indeed. All right, so for today we're going to take a look, and starting off, we're going to have a look at, from Bandai Hobby, the model kit of the Space Battleship Yamato 2202 Final Battle version in 1/1000 scale. 1/1000th? 1/1000?
I don't know.
1/1000 scale. All right, so here you can see it in the front. This is the Final Battle version, and then in the back, I have the previous non-final battle version that I built earlier. So as you can tell, these 2 ships are actually molded in different colors. You have a lighter gray for this non-final battle version than you do for the new final battle version.
I like the new one.
You like the new one? Why would that? Why would that be?
I think it's the plastic looks way better.
Looks more serious, more menacing, more sinister, more war ready.
I think it brings out the shadows of the guns as well. Like you can see them better.
Yeah, that is a great point. This one is it's definitely has a lighter color to it. And this one, both of them have the ability to have LEDs set up into them. We covered the LEDs in the previous review of this kit, actually, and the batteries are dead. So I have not updated the batteries, but we've already covered the LEDs in this kit, and the LED light up is going to be identical for the two of them. So if you want to see how this kit's going to light up, it's probably best to go back and take a look at the original version of this kit where we talk about the other stuff. So let's take a look at what you get in the new kit. Alright, so the main thing that you're going to notice with this new Final Battle version is it has quite a lot more guns added onto it. You get extra guns up here underneath the main guns. Now the main guns themselves have extra like anti-aircraft, although it's not going to be aircraft in space. Anti-spacecraft, would you say? Anti-spacecraft guns are mounted on the top. So this actually has a historical connection as well. Like as the war progressed and as the Second World War progressed and aircraft became kind of more vital in the war in attacking ships, you started to see a lot more anti-aircraft guns getting added onto the battleships and all of the surface fleet ships. So this is kind of just following that same kind of progression that happened in World War II is now also happening into this space battleship Yamato. So that's the similar type of thing. But they've added a lot of extra stuff that wasn't actually on the Yamato itself, like later into the war. So here we also have, it went from, in the back of the ship, it went from, these are going to be your kind of, on the original Yamato, they were the catapult launchers. And they kind of still work in the same way. They're going to launch some spacecraft off of the back of these. But instead of just the 2 catapults on the back, now you get 4 catapults onto the back of this ship. So it's going to be quite ready for battle. Now, I really want to point out, if you do decide to buy this kit and you do build it, you're going to have to be very, very gentle when putting in these guns, because like other Bandai kits, this is a complete snap together kit. But sometimes you don't really get like you can't really get like a good finger to be able to push the guns into the position. And the way the manual has you build the kit, sometimes some of the guns are just really in positions that are hard to access after you've assembled it according to the
Did you
manual.
have to use some pliers or something?
Yes, I ended up using pliers, but still it was a bit difficult with pliers because you can't really push down with pliers. So it's going to be hard to notice. You probably won't even really notice it all, maybe just a tiny bit. So like you'll see occasionally I have some little stress marks on the barrels because when I did push down onto the guns, I did end up bending some of the barrels. But because Bandai's plastic tends to be kind of a bit soft, it was actually not too bad to be able just to bend it back. So thankfully I didn't break any barrels. Now also I wanted to point out I think I probably did the same for the other kit. It's just been so long since I built that other one. But for this one, these round guns here with the quad barrels on them. Now they have these ones they give you the little like pill type part in the bottom, and these 2 guns are like paired up, so you install the left side and you install the right side individually. And I find that it's snap, but just those guns do not fit so well into the little pill, so I had to use glue, which is kind of rare for a Bandai kit. I really needed to use I use extra thin glue, and I just dabbed a little bit of glue in each one, because otherwise those guns were just going to keep falling out on me. There was you can't push them in any farther. I mean, these barrels are so thin anyway that you really can't push them to begin with. But yeah, they're flush, they're in as well as they go, but still they would fall out just as soon as I put them in there. So I did have to use glue for these quad guns there. So that is just something to look out for if you do build this kit. This kit has a lot of like really extra thin type of parts that would be quite easy to bend if you're not careful. So unlike the Gundam kits, you really do need to be quite delicate when building.
I don't think I'll be able to do that without snapping something.
Yeah, I would. I mean, really, the master grades. Today's master grades are going to be a lot easier to build than these Yamato ships with the extra thin parts. So that's just something to be aware of. There's one other interesting thing I noticed when I was building this kit that I really wanted to point out. They've added a lot of extra stuff onto it, and one of let's see, how would I explain this? So the main guns, they have the ability to rotate, just like you would on a regular battleship, right? And of course, the individual barrels can be raised and lowered, just like how it was on the other ships. But this second gun on the front, the second main turret, because they've kind of the upper deck parts, because you have the extra attachment points for the anti-aircraft or anti-spacecraft guns and whatnot. It's a different design than what you use on the old kit. And with this extra stuff added, the second gun is only going to be able to turn just so far, which I would imagine is not going to be the most effective thing to have in battle. So, I mean, this is not how it's going to actually be in the show, of course, but just a limitation of the kit itself. So if you were planning to buy this final battle version and have all the guns rotated, firing to the side,
snap off the little bit on the side, the rocket launchers.
Yeah, you're gonna need to do some work to get that to work. Just something to be aware of. But the other ones, this one also has a little bit of what would I say? A little bit of hindrance there on the side. So it does rub, but you can actually turn this one, rotate that one completely to the side. The new one also, I didn't put it together. I didn't include it, but I have it here on the old version. It still has these little starships included, and it still comes with a little clear stand, so you can display them on the display base like the old version. Also, with this new version, which wasn't included with the old version, is you get a nice action base. What was action base?
That actually came with it.
This actually came with the ship, and that is quite good, because these bases, especially if you're trying to transport it in car to bring it to work, don't exactly hold the ships. Whoops, I knocked that out. Don't exactly hold the ships quite sturdily enough, but with this connecting point on here, you can plug it in. I'll just put it in this way. The block itself just plugs directly in, and
awesome.
It holds the ship for you. So
it's got a little plaque at the bottom.
It's got a little plaque, so you can put your stickers. So you do get some water slide decals with this kit. Actual water slide decals, not stickers, and you do have little name plaques, so you can put the name plaques on the display base. So this is included for you as well. And you also have the option of, on the side of the ship, there are these little thin red plastic parts. You can pop those out, and you can actually put the wings on there if you want. So this is one of the things that you see in the anime. So you have the option. I just prefer it like actual ship mode without the wings added onto it, but you do have the option of putting the wings on there. Alright, so now let's do our comparison and a nice review of the Chogokin Yamato 2202. So here in the front, now I think I mentioned before that I wasn't sure if the one I built earlier was the 2199 or 2202 version, but hey, it actually had the sticker on the base. So this was indeed the regular 2202 version of the ship that I built. So this is going to be kind of a direct comparison. So how does the Chogokin line compare to the Hobby Kit line? Well, I have the Hobby Kit actually in the front. So because this is in the front here, the scale is a bit off. So let me pull this off. Let me put this kind of to the side. The Solo Chogokin kit is actually quite a bit bigger than what you get with the Hobby Kit. And it is nicely painted. So that is something else. So quite nice. Let's see what else.
You could actually bring this so far forward that they'd look the same size.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for by having this guy in the front there, that they kind of line up and look similar size, so you can kind of get a comparison of just like maybe how those details would compare on the two kits. So you are going to get a much nicer painted kit, how do you say about the detail? Because with the scale models, they're actually able to do some quite nice details, I'd say compared to like a toy line.
Without talking about the paint, I'd say the detail's pretty much just as good on the kit.
On the model kit itself?
Because it's the same type of process of forming the plastic or the metal. Yeah.
So yeah, the new Solo Chogokin line, one thing you'll really notice is it is quite a lot heavier than with the model kit here. So I think let's actually move the model kit out of the way now, and let's just take a closer look of the Solo Chogokin kit itself. Quite nicely painted. You got some nice deck part, nice detail up here. I believe this is not a funnel any longer on the ship, but actually like a see if I can focus on the inside of that. But it has like some rockets. It launches some rockets out of the funnel at this point.
Making the most use of everything.
Right, you gotta make the most. Gotta keep the shape of the original Yamato, but not. Reuse the parts, but they're not. They don't serve as the original purpose anymore. Now, a difference between the Soul of Chogokin, there was an earlier $21.99 version of this kit, and I think just looking at the pictures, I never actually saw the $21.99 version like out of the box or in person, but that older version had like a panel on the side of the ship that would flip open, and you could see the inside of the ship where they have like the starfighters that would load up and what have you.
That's on the. You can do it on the bottom now, right?
Yeah, but on the bottom, you can still do that here on the bottom. I believe this was in the 29. The other version as well. So they give you little tiny starfighters, and you can plug one into the little like loading area there.
Cool.
So that's cool. And then you guys can kind of see on the inside there. So all those extra little starfighters are loaded up and ready for action. They're just going to get launched out of the bottom here. So that's kind of quite interesting. And the biggest main feature of this kit, however, and the main big difference between this and that older $21.99 version is going to be this control box that they give you here. Now, on this control box... Alright, so on this control box, you're going to have quite a number of different buttons. Now, everything here is labeled in Japanese, however. So I went through and I translated the buttons to try and figure out what it is.
Theme songs type of thing. Music.
Yeah, so we got the music boxes here on the top, and so let's see. From the left, this one is called the rocket anchor, and then we have one for the bow torpedo, which is going to be up here in the front. Well, maybe I can just pull the ship.
Well, I mean, you can see the arrows going.
Oh yeah, the boxes do kind of point to like where on the ship you're going, where the sound effect is supposed to come from. So you got two buttons for like the shock cannon and the 3 cannons, and then there's one for the anti-aircraft missiles, which is launching from the side of the ship up here, I believe. You also have a button for the SAM, for the warp. This is going to be your on and off buttons. There's one down here for the radar, the wave barrier, the air squadron, so the little extra fighter ships, there's just going to be a sound for that. The double-headed torpedo. Now, these two controls here are going to be for your turrets. So there's one for the turret 1, and so you know which ones you're rotating here. It's marked red and yellow, and you can see on the diagram of the ship, you got the red cannons and the yellow cannons. And then here on the bottom, it says music. And then up here, you got the wave cannon. So what do you say, Dave? Shall we turn this on and take a look at what we can do with this, with the sound?
Okay.
All right, so to turn on the box, all you have to do is flip that switch. But if you want to turn on the ship, and I keep knocking that one off, so I'm just going to leave that off for now, you have to take it off the stand here. And there's a little box here. It kind of does have a little hand thumb thing. You pop that off, and it's going to reveal your switch. Now, when you change the batteries, or when you insert the batteries, what you need to do is pop the other side box off, and that's where your screw is going to be, so that you can remove the cover to be able to insert the battery. So let's go ahead and turn this guy on. And so when you hit that on switch, right away you'll see the lights on the bridge light up, and it did make like a little pring noise as it kind of starts up here. So kind of quite cool. Although this on switch is not too convenient, just to let you know. So if you're going to be showing the guests at your house, you have to take it off its stand. And that also means that you're going to need to be touching the kit. And since this is a collector's item, you're going to touch the kit. And of course, your hands are always going to have some kind of oil to them. So I know that might not be too great for some people. A little bit, maybe a little easier on and off switch would have been nice.
Yeah, like on the base or something, so it can go
on the base. But then again, if it's on the base, the ship would permanently have to be connected to the base.
They use solar and a new air charging.
Right, they could, but I think they can't spend too much money on building this kit. So Dave's already going for it here. So
it doesn't work.
In the manual, it doesn't work. This is another kind of little bit of tricky part with this kit. Is the box has to be positioned in a way that these...
it's like a remote control.
Yeah, it's like an old school kind of remote control, not like a Bluetooth or anything like that. So these two like lights have to be in line of sight of the connector on the ship here. So if you have like the box off to the side or behind the ship, it's not going to work because it's not going to be able to detect the controls from the box. So it has to be like perfectly in position to be able to pick up the signals.
Go for them.
So
Yellow turrets.
Let's take a look here at the turrets. Let's see if we can get it to move or not. There we go. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
But
the
controls I've noticed are quite slow. You kind of have to hold it down for a while for it to work.
Oh, it goes all the way over there. So that's so cool,
isn't it?
Little mini ones at the back moving.
Isn't that awesome? They make a nice sound from when they're rotating. It's quite fun to play with, I gotta say. So let's try to do both at the same time.
Go for it. Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can work on both at the same time there. Isn't that cool? Let's fire awesome. Cannon. Let's fire cannon.
Joey. Oh.
So they use the actual authentic music, voices, and sounds from the show itself. So that was another.
Rocket anchor.
Yeah.
And the lights don't change though when they're doing.
Well, actually, we do. Let's see if we can get the bow of the ship to show up. So let's do a look at the wave cannon. Let's take a look at the wave cannon here. So maybe I'll just hold it up so you guys can kind of see. So we'll do. Oh, there goes my fighters. Let's do a wave cannon attack.
Where does it come from here?
Yep, it should.
Oh, it's building up.
Right?
Oh, that's wicked. Oh, jeez. I'm surprised it's got so many different colours it can do. Itch.
Isn't that awesome? Quite long, I have to
say. Seriously long. So I'm getting totally killed right now, I guess.
That is quite long. So
awesome.
That is awesome. That is quite cool. This ship is just, I gotta say, it's really fun to play with. Let's do a warp. Let's see a warp, because I think the warp also lights up the tail, not the tail lights, but the engine lights here.
Okay.
So.
Do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, you gotta be careful when you hold this ship, though, because it's got so many of these pointing things. You really gotta be.
Is that always firing? Like,
I think these are always kind of flickering a bit.
That's so cool.
Isn't that awesome? Because I mean, that's like on a ship, like you wouldn't have just like a constant light. It's gonna kind of like flicker on you like that. So that's quite cool. So let's do warp. Are you ready to warp?
Yeah, let's go. How long is it?
Oh wait, So I push the button. You'll notice I push the button here, and as I mentioned before, if you're on the wrong side of the ship, it's not gonna go. So
line it up.
There you go. That's a warp feature. So
that's cool. It's
not as long as
the other one.
Yeah, not. Whoops, there I keep knocking off another ship.
We've lost many fallen warriors.
Right, all of these little ships. It comes with these little metal stands, so you can be able to display it. And actually, it comes with a number of these metal stands. Maybe I should show that off here now before I forget. So in this kit, it comes including a number of these little metal poles. Metal poles and connections. So on the display base, there's a bunch of little tiny holes. I don't think it's focusing on there. There's a bunch of little tiny holes in there. So you actually, if you wanted to, you can have each one of these little fighters like individually lined up on the display with it.
Nice.
And as you saw, I had one fighter connected on the bottom of there, and there's little connecting points on the catapults as well, so that you can connect a fighter onto one of the catapults, which is quite interesting. Radar.
Oh, it's found an enemy. Let's kill it. Wave barrier. This is fun.
Isn't it?
But the front and the back are the only two
like main lights that change, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think the bridge lights should constantly always be on and be lit up. So that's something. You should rotate those canyons around a bit. All right, so let me talk about a few other things that come with this kit that are also included. Like we saw with the promo ship. I knocked it off. So yeah, the guns, if you want to have the guns raised or lowered, you can raise or lower the guns, and they do individually raise and lower. So you can do that, but this has to be done individually. That's not something that's motorized. You do that individually. So as with the model kit, there's a little side section here, and this is going to be where the wings go. If you want to change it out, you can pop those off, and you can pop them on the wing panel. So you have this option for the Chogokin as well. You actually have... Now, I don't want to change the display base because that's going to take some time. I have it now just kind of sitting like flat, normal, just like the model kit. But it comes with these crescent moon type of things too. So you can actually have the ship kind of like in a position kind of like this. So it's not just straight up and down. Cool. It can be kind of angled a bit. And there I knocked off the next ship. So I'm down to the last one. We got one surviving aircraft on there. Not aircraft, but regular gun. All right, so another addition that is included with this kit is the anchor on a wire. So you can actually pop off the anchor on the front of the ship. It's just a little simple connector there. And then you can pop on this little chain anchor.
Cool, that's real metal.
Here as well. So there we go. It's real metal. You get a real metal chain. So you can have the little extra bling bling.
For sure.
Get some chain on there. So this is quite, I'm usually stuck doing the model kits because I really kind of prefer model kits because it's something that you build yourself and you can detail it up as much as you want, and there's just the extra fun in building it. But I have to say, I would really make an exception for this kit because with those motorized guns and with these sound effects, and they did a really nice job of like painting the ship on its own. I gotta say, this is quite a fantastic little piece of kit, even though it's not a model kit. So I was really excited that I was able to actually get this one and do this one on this show because, yeah, this is quite fun to play with. And I'm going to continue to play with it forever.
Cool. And we got some ongaku.
So yeah, so model kit or Chogokin. If you can't afford the price of this Chogokin, then model kit is definitely a good way to go because, I mean, it's still quite detailed and it has the lights if you want to get the lights, although you do have to buy the LED separate. But yeah, the Chogokin, if you can afford it, if you love Yamato, and if you can afford this thing, this is something that I'm not sure I'd want to miss out on just because when the Bandai collector stuff, like once they're gone, gone. That's it, like literally they're gone. So we do have this in stock on the site now, so there is still a chance to pick this up. But yeah, I mean, now they're doing the 2202 series, so this is new, but in the future, there's chances they do reissues, but you're never certain if they ever do a reissue. So the chance is now to get this if you want it.
HobbyLink.com. Okay, so actually I didn't say it earlier, but this is the Megami Device full action plastic model kit 6.2
full action
for Astra Archer.
Okay, so this is Ouki. A special one that came with the book as well.
Right, yes. We'll show the book off in a bit.
Alrighty.
But what really stands out this kit is, Todd, well, what do you think stands out?
There are a couple of things that really stand out for me, I gotta say, on this kit.
Those side green pieces, right?
Yes,
that's what you're talking about.
That's quite an interesting color choice, I have to say.
Well, so anyway, this is the standard pose of her. This is not what you're going to see on the box because she's got armor on. But here, this is her just chilling.
This is the before armor phase.
Yep, and the thing about this is that actually, once you've made this, you type of have to start, nearly again. They ask you to take pretty much everything off the main body.
Okay.
Like, as you can see here. So you get her to that stage, and then they're telling you just to take it all off again. Because you've got to start adding on parts to the armor, yeah. So you've really got to rebuild her up again. So this is why we're doing this in 2 parts, because it's going to take a lot more time to get the armor built. I do love these fantastic eyes.
Yes, those are some nicely painted eyes, I have to say.
Yeah, and obviously there's different options. So you've got the oh my god face.
Okay, we got face.
And
Would you say that's the O face?
This is the type of like get the fuck out face.
Angry face?
Yeah.
Right.
Todd, what do you normally go for?
I go for neutral face.
Hi. Me too.
Just standard. I'm here.
And hello there. So, yes, you do have two choices of boobs.
Okay.
Todd, which do you like better?
I think
Hardy boobs or...
The ones you have equipped are quite nice, I have to say.
Obviously, when you equip the heart-shaped ones, you're going to have to put a different piece of plastic underneath, a bra. But what I'd say when making this is you really want to make sure that this is sandwiched down, because if you start seeing like a black line there, it doesn't look too appealing. But that aside, it's a Kotobukiya kit, so sometimes the joints will easily pop out.
Yeah.
But it's got a great range of motion, so you can, there you go. So you can do pretty much any pose, which I really like. Actually, what I think is great about this kit is the head is, it looks quite... They've put a little bit more time into making the hair look a bit better.
Really, the hair does have kind of a nice side flip to it,
yeah.
would you say?
But, normal flexibility. So this took only about
6 hours.
No. I don't know, an hour and a bit to get this far. Maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
But I'm looking, but that's like what, 3 pages in?
Yeah, only 3 pages.
And so we've still got another 5. Okay, right, now let's try and transform her.
3 days later.
Okay guys, here we have Astra Archer. Ouki. 6.2.
Hey, she looks quite nice, I gotta say.
So she is the master of the longbow, an expert in long-distance combat. This is her stronger mode with all the battle armor on. She does actually have, as you can see on the box art, a different head. But, I don't think she looks as sexy with that. So
you don't like it with the little extra armor pieces on the hair?
Nah, I thought it would look better like this. If you have the arms of Astra Ninja, you can turn her into a samurai mode. Would
the Astra Ninja arms be the same color?
I'm not sure, because some of these, they re-release them with different colors. Like, the Astra Archer lineup so far is the blue version and the original version, which is black and red.
Oh, okay.
So
this is a special...
This is the special version that you can obviously only get with the Figure Japan magazine. Anyway, let's have a look at some of her features.
Okay.
So, these bits here at the bottom, they are detachable. And they're just basically extra armor.
Oh, you get the detachable feet.
Well, actually, the whole legs come off. But the armor bit does come off, and so do these swords. And she can actually use these swords in a different form.
Oh.
And these can actually, but you can have, there's another bit of plastic in there that attaches to these to make them, she can hold them. I'll show you in the manual, but these can come off and form some major amazing thing on the back here. But only if you've got other kits, or Kotobukiya always brings out separate weapon sets. So that's what they're talking about there. Once again, a question would be, would you be able to get it in the same color? But anyway, so I'll take her off.
Paint it.
Yeah, exactly. She's got this amazing huge sword here, which has got a very nice effect of, blue clear plastic on the edge. I think that looks really cool. Maybe the only thing that I would say that was a bit weird is that because of the way that this plastic fits into the pink bit, you can see the little areas where it sticks in. Okay, so let's have a look at this thing on the back, because this is pretty cool. So
this is her longbow,
which actually can detach. Cut this, yeah. So you've got 2 of these swords in the back, which can detach, and she can hold them. And it's, it's not as big as this other one, but I do like the clear plastic. I think it's quite cool.
It's a nice effect to it.
Yeah, so they can be taken off and stuck on different places. I think you can play around with these quite a lot. Like, even if it's not in the manual, you could take this off here, this bit off, and stick it on her leg or something. you can take these bits off, as I was saying before, and stick them on her arms.
Okay.
So instead of having
the little bow.
Yeah. So instead of having, sorry, not the the bow can be moved around as well.
Oh, that's
but I'm just saying this bit here can be put up there if you take that off. And obviously, as you guys can see from before, the boobs are different.
Right, you got different choices in here.
Yeah, I kept the same face because...
Well, interesting. This pair seems to be a bit more pointy at the end.
And Todd would know. But yeah, I like the overall type of armor of this kit. I think it's pretty cool. It was a bit difficult to put together because you have to take it... All of it, basically, everything changes from the previous version. Even the tummy changes. The joint on her neck changes. You have to take all of this off, and the only parts that are the same are actually the legs and the arm stem.
Just that upper thigh there.
So everything else is type of different.
Yeah,
it's nearly another kit.
Right. I wonder, they should have just included a couple extra parts in there, and you really could build two kits out of this almost.
But anyway, so there we go. I'll just now show you.
Ooh, look at those parts.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts left over, but that's always the case, isn't it? Okay, so here, as I was saying before, if you do have extra different extra blades, you can make this cool looking feature here. It's the backpack and extras, swords and 2 more extras. So it's quite complicated, but I guess that would look quite cool.
That would look cool. Unfortunately, there's not enough parts to build that.
There it is.
One box though.
Yeah. So just another thing I should mention is that she can actually hold this like that, and use it as a sword.
Okay.
But because that's a bit flimsy, what they do give you is a type of securing device that snaps on from this point.
Wait, is that a sword or point, like a bow?
Yeah, a type of bow. I mean, she's Archer, right? So that's the main feature, I guess. It goes from there to that point there. It just holds it in place so she can become the long-range master that she is.
Okay, quite nice.
Coolio.
Well, that was wonderful, Dave.
That was a spectacular show of lights.
It was indeed. So,
yeah.
Quite
if you can afford it,
if you can
pick one of these bad boys up. That's going to look so good on your shelf.
Right. You just got to keep that control box a little bit close in order to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Do we have any comments from?
Yes, we do. We have a comment from David.
Hey.
8888.
Are you commenting on your own videos?
No. Finally, a review of one of the master grades. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
Hopefully Todd will do a review of the master grade Gundam Age Magnum 2.
Okay, so I want to do the Age Magnum 2, so that one is on my list to do, but I'm kind of bogged down with hobby show stuff at the moment. But I really want to build that one, so I will get that one for sure on the show at some point.
Cool. And number 2 is from Burgaf. A bit sad that the GN drive doesn't shine from the back and only the chest, but nonetheless it's really rare for Bandai to listen to their fans and actually make Dynams 2.0.
Okay, so actually I got this one, I did not state, I got this one a bit wrong. So when I assembled this, I only had put the LED on the front here, so you could show it in the chest light. And I did not mention it in the video. There's always something I end up missing. But other people in the comments picked it up and they said, wait, you can actually put 2 LEDs. So yes, this little chest device that goes inside that has the LED on the inside, it actually has room to fit 2 LEDs in here. So one can be on the front And then there actually is enough space here in the back half to be able to fit a second LED. Although
they're just trying to take more money from you, right?
Right, you have to buy these LEDs separate, because remember, I borrowed this from the Perfect Grade. So the Perfect Grade did have 2 LEDs, but the other one is stuck in the head, and I didn't feel like taking that apart to get to it. So,
but you can have it shining from the front and the back.
You can indeed. Cool. I have to wonder, is it quite worth it to have that on there? But I mean, it is possible. So hey, cool. Just wanted to clear the air on that. All right. So is it time then for our
2,000 yen
HobbyLink Japan store credit? All right, so this week, the random number generator has chosen a rather high number, actually. Comment number 62. And it goes to Rio. And they say, somehow, he looks so fat or way too buff on the preview picture from the video LOL.
Is he talking about you?
Hey, now. I don't know. I think it's talking about this Dynams kid, so.
Maybe it's our thumbnails.
Yeah, thumbnail. Maybe it got buffed up a bit for the thumbnail.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? But anyway, if you guys out there would also like to win 2,000 yen HobbyLink Japan store credit, all you need to do is go to HobbyLink.tv, find episode number 316, and post a comment. Please remember to be registered on HobbyLink.tv in order for us to be able to actually contact you. So, yes, the prize winner for last week's episode, I will be contacting you shortly, so stay tuned for an email in your box. So anyway, all right, everybody out there, enough rambling. Thank you out there for watching, and have a great week.
See ya.